Welcome back to our channel, and may today be filled with the abundant grace of Christ. We are grateful for your continued support and hope you find inspiration and peace in this video. As you watch, we invite you to reflect with us on the urgent message that the Virgin Mary has shared, a message that resonates deeply in our current times of global unrest and looming environmental challenges. The Mother of God has spoken clearly, delivering a warning that cannot be ignored. The world stands on the brink of a catastrophic natural disaster, with many nations at risk of being submerged by rising floodwaters. This message is a call to urgent action, both practical and spiritual. As natural disasters escalate around the globe, the Virgin Mary's words remind us that the time to prepare is now. We must take stock of our lives, return to faith, and seek divine guidance before it is too late. Before we delve deeper into the specifics of this profound message, we encourage you to share where you are watching from. Let us come together in prayer and solidarity, offering our heartfelt petitions to the Virgin Mary. This space is meant to be a sanctuary for our collective thoughts and prayers, a powerful thread that unites us in hope and faith. Your words of encouragement could be the light that strengthens others as we journey through these uncertain times. Now, let's focus on the heart of the Virgin Mary's message. Over the centuries, her apparitions at places like Fatima, Medjugorje, and other holy sites have always been filled with warnings and calls to return to faith. She has urged humanity to pray, to convert, and to turn back to God, offering us guidance in times of distress. Today, the message is no different, except that the urgency is greater than ever. The Virgin Mary warns us that rising sea levels are no longer a distant threat, they are an imminent danger. In her vision, she has pointed to certain nations, especially those with coastal regions, as being at significant risk of being overwhelmed by the rising waters. Countries like Spain, France, and Italy, with their picturesque Mediterranean coasts, are particularly vulnerable. These regions, once symbols of prosperity and culture, are facing the possibility of devastating floods if humanity does not heed the warning and seek heavenly protection. This warning is not just about physical safety, but about a spiritual reckoning. The Virgin Mary, in her maternal love, calls these nations back to the devotion and faith that have defined them for centuries. The once glorious Mediterranean coasts, which have long been the cradle of Christian civilization, could suffer immense destruction if the people fail to seek the mercy and protection of God. The urgency of her message is clear. We must return to spiritual devotion before it is too late. The rising tides are a powerful metaphor for the flood of sin, indifference, and worldly distractions that have washed over humanity. As coastal regions risk being submerged by physical waters, so too do our souls risk being overwhelmed by the tides of secularism, materialism, and apathy. The Virgin Mary's call is a plea to awaken, to turn back to the path of holiness, and to trust in divine protection. In addition to the environmental threats she warns about, the message also highlights the need for spiritual preparation. The Virgin Mary urges us to come together in prayer, to seek forgiveness, and to renew our devotion to God. It is through these acts of faith that we can hope to weather the coming storms, both natural and spiritual. As the world faces the looming threat of natural disasters, particularly those caused by rising sea levels, we must also face the internal storms of our own hearts. The Virgin Mary calls us to rebuild our relationship with God, to strengthen our communities through prayer, and to prepare ourselves spiritually for the difficult times ahead. The message is clear: we are not alone. Through prayer, faith, and divine protection, we can find the strength to endure whatever trials may come. We invite you to join us in this journey of faith. Share your prayers, your thoughts, and your hopes in the comments below. Together, we can create a powerful community of believers who support one another in prayer and action. Let us hold fast to the teachings of the Virgin Mary and trust that, even in the face of adversity, God's mercy and grace will guide us through. Thank you for watching until the end. What are your thoughts on today's message? Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon to receive notifications for future videos. Let's continue to pray, share, and prepare spiritually for the challenges that lie ahead. The Virgin Mary's message is a powerful and urgent call for reflection and action, as she warns that the beautiful lands once teeming with life are now in grave danger of being consumed by the rising seas. Nations such as Italy, rich in holy heritage and deep-rooted faith, must return to the heart of God, she urges. The sacred lands, once filled with the vibrant pulse of devotion, are now at risk of being swept away. Spain and France, with their coastal cities, are equally vulnerable. The rising tides, driven by nature's response to humanity's spiritual neglect, will test the faith of many. These floods are not just a physical threat, they are a spiritual trial. But this warning extends far beyond Europe. The Virgin Mary also calls attention to North America, particularly the southern United States, where areas like Florida and the Gulf Coast face the imminent danger of further flooding. These regions, already grappling with stronger storms, are under siege by the rising waters. She implores the people of these areas to unite in prayer, for it is only through prayer and faith that the communities can prepare for what lies ahead. Dear children, she says, the southern United States, where so many of your prayers have been offered to the ocean, must become a place of renewed faith. Your family's strength and unity will be tested like never before. Offer your prayers for God to protect your homes and to fortify your faith. However, the Virgin Mary's message reveals that the threat posed by the floods and natural disasters is not merely physical, it is deeply spiritual. The earth itself, she suggests, is responding to humanity's imbalance and detachment from God. The floods, hurricanes, and other calamities we witness are not random. They are a reflection of the spiritual state of the world. The weight of humanity's crimes causes creation to groan, she warns. Once a source of life and sustenance, the waters now threaten to become instruments of destruction. Her plea is clear: turn back to God through prayer and repentance, for only His mercy can protect us from the rising tide of destruction. When we return to Him, His grace becomes a shield, guarding even the most vulnerable spots from harm. The Virgin Mary calls all people to reflect on their lives, to recognize the signs of the times, and to take the necessary steps to prepare for what is coming. She offers a way forward. Her message is one of hope. Prayer, repentance, and a deepened relationship with God are the keys to overcoming these trials. By seeking reconciliation through the sacraments and prayer, we can shield ourselves from both spiritual and physical dangers. The Virgin Mary promises that those who follow her guidance will find peace and protection amidst the chaos. Even in the darkest of times, she assures us, those who listen to her advice will find serenity. Prayer will give you the strength to face what lies ahead, she declares. Now more than ever, the call is to prepare spiritually, for the challenges to come are not just external, they are also a test of our faith. When we turn to God, He will grant us the peace and courage we need to stand firm in the storm. The Virgin Mary's message emphasizes a vital, dual approach to preparation, one that encompasses both spiritual readiness and practical foresight. While her teachings center on the profound importance of spiritual awakening and reliance on God, she also acknowledges the need for tangible, physical preparation in the face of the hardships to come. She calls on families and individuals alike to take proactive steps to safeguard their lives and those they love. This practical readiness involves simple, yet essential actions: having an emergency plan in place, ensuring a supply of food and water, and in some cases, considering relocation to safer areas. Dear children, the Virgin Mary gently reminds us, the Father wishes for you to be prepared. But she clarifies that this preparedness is not merely about securing material needs. It is also about preparing our hearts and minds. It requires a balance of caution and faith, doing what we can while trusting that God will take care of the rest. The message is not one of panic or fear, but of responsible action grounded in faith. The Virgin Mary's call to prepare materially is not meant to incite fear, but to empower us. It is an invitation to act wisely and prudently while embracing the peace that comes from trusting in God's providence. When we take practical steps to prepare, We are simultaneously exercising our faith and reinforcing our spiritual readiness. By being responsible in our actions, we can face the future with a sense of peace and confidence, knowing that God will guide us through whatever comes our way. A major theme in the Virgin Mary's message is the call for unity in faith. She urges families and communities to come together in prayer, to build small sanctuaries of faith within their homes. These sacred havens, she says, can become powerful sources of protection and peace. Through prayer, families and communities can create a spiritual defense network that transcends the challenges they may face. In particular, the Virgin Mary calls on us to pray for nations and regions in danger, as our prayers could be the key to bringing God's mercy and intervention to the areas most in need. Convert your homes into tiny havens of faith by praying there, she advises. These words carry a deep significance, reminding us that even in the most trying circumstances, we can make a profound difference. By coming together in prayer, we become instruments of God's mercy, offering comfort and hope to those who need it most. The collective power of prayer unites hearts, provides a spiritual shield, and can transform both individual lives and entire communities. This shared faith creates an unbreakable bond of unity and strength, helping us navigate the uncertainties of the world with resilience and peace. In her message, the Virgin Mary stresses the importance of both practical and spiritual preparation. This call to action is not meant to frighten, but to inspire. She urges us to take concrete steps in our daily lives, while also tending to our spiritual lives, so that we may face the difficulties ahead with hope, fortitude, and divine protection. Through prayer, reconciliation, and careful planning, we can rise above the coming trials, knowing that God's guidance will be our refuge. The Virgin Mary assures us that there is still time to make changes in our lives, to pray, and to seek God's protection. But she warns that the time for action is now. Those who heed her message will find a path of light, even in the darkest moments. But those who ignore this call may face sorrow and loss, as they miss the opportunity to embrace God's mercy and grace. As we reflect on the Virgin Mary's words, let us reaffirm our commitment to preparation, both spiritual and practical. By doing so, we can help protect our families, our communities, and ourselves from the upcoming challenges, while strengthening our faith and uniting in prayer. This is not a message of fear, but of hope and resilience, a call to take action with faith and trust in God's providence. Thank you for joining me on this important journey. Your presence and participation make this investigation more powerful and meaningful. May the shared experiences of our human journey inspire and uplift you until we meet again. Let us move forward, prepared and united in faith, trusting that God's light will guide us through whatever lies ahead.